Yeah, buddy, it's your boy Lee. No, it's not Lee Ice. It's your boy Flyin Brian. And as you can see, Lee Ice is not with me today. He's got some personal problems dealing with that. So, wish him all the best, everything that's going on in his personal life. But as you can see on the screen, I got the boss man with me, doing a show with the boss. Ooh, a little nervous. Um, yeah. So, I want to welcome everybody to Unapologetic Sports. I'm your host, Flyin Brian, with my co-host today, the boss man B. As you know how we do it on the show, we like to do a little toast. I don't know if you got something ready to go for that. There we go, perfect. So let's hit that up. Bring it in.
Let's go.
All right.
Let's
So obviously
do
we got a lot. We got a lot going on. We got a lot to cover in the NFL world with free agency. But let me just take a quick moment to talk about the Ultimate Fighting Championship. If the people watching are any MMA fans out there, they can remember that I maybe broke it. If you've been watching since the beginning, I talked about the UFC having a fight card on the White House lawn. People might have been confused by that. So it is official. It was officially announced Saturday during UFC's previous pay per view, which is actually on Paramount Plus now. So there's no pay per views. So it's going to be called UFC Freedom 250 to celebrate the America's birthday for the 250th anniversary of America. It will be Sunday, June 14th. As far as I know, maybe since the dark ages of the UFC, the first time they've done a UFC show on a Sunday. So it's actually going to be a prime time, 8 o'clock start, CBS prime time, only 6 fights. So UFC, for people that aren't fans or don't watch it religiously, there's usually about 12 to 15 fights on each card. It usually starts around 5 o'clock Eastern time and then goes all the way to 1 o'clock in the morning. But this is 6 fights, 8 o'clock, primetime CBS. And as far as the card goes, this is, to me, the best card they could possibly put together with these fighters. Now, if you're a casual fan, like we talked about before we came on the air, you're a casual fan, so
absolutely.
you might look at this and where's Ronda Rousey, where's Conor McGregor, where's Johnny Bones Jones. So I know they tried to work with Conor and they tried to work with Jones. They couldn't come to terms. Uh, I don't know if they're actually selling tickets to this event.
That's what I
I
was
don't.
about to ask you.
Yeah,
You looking like
I'm
on
not.
fanfare.
Yeah, I haven't got a. There has. I don't think they've officially announced. I know they've. What they've talked about, Dana White has talked about, is going to be about 20,000 people. As far as what it's been told to the fans, there's going to be 20,000. I guess arena built on the lawn, and the
Wow.
White House will be the backdrop of the fights.
Wow. Okay. But let me ask you this, Flying Brian. For the
Yeah.
casual UFC fan like myself, if you're looking at that card, give me one matchup that I should be looking for. Who should I be sitting down watching?
Right. So the main event is the lightweight champion Poirier versus Justin Gaethje. So for casual fans, if you've never seen these two fight, I can put my status as a professional sports broadcaster and guarantee
You
that
putting
that
that
fight will
stamp
not
on it?
that fight will not be boring, and
Okay.
it'll either be a quick, devastating knockout, or you're gonna get a just an absolute war between those two.
So
It
that
can't go wrong.
so that's something we here calling it on the Sideline Junkies podcast network a Blue Magic guarantee. You Blue Magic
Oh, all right.
guarantee, Brian.
I I'm giving a blue magic guarantee that Poirier Gaethje will be a great fight. I don't want to say fight of the year. I don't whatever because it's all relative. But if you like standing, striking, guys going back and forth, a potential for a knockout, that fight's for you. And then the co-main event is former light heavyweight champion Alex Pereira is moving up to heavyweight to fight the number one contender Serial Gan in a interim title fight because they're taking the belt off Jones because Jones is retired.
Okay.
So this is historic for this will be the first time in UFC history, MMA history, however you want to do it, where a fighter has the potential to be the first ever three division champion. So I know in boxing they have like 30 divisions.
Yeah.
So, but in the UFC they have about eight when it comes to men. So this guy will be the first ever middleweight champion, light heavyweight champion, and he's going for the heavyweight title. So there's a few fighters that Connor has won two belts in two weight classes. Daniel Cormier, if you recognize that name, has won 2 belts. John Jones won 2 belts. So this is the first time that not only as a guy has a shot to win it, it's ever been done. No champion has ever fought for a third title in a division. So that's
Okay.
also historic. Quick rundown of the card. Sean O'Malley is an exciting fighter. He's a young guy that they've tried to make the face of the company, but they actually had their first fight in the Sphere, the Las Vegas Sphere.
Okay.
He headlined that, and then the opening fight, Lopez versus Garcia, is also a fight that'll be real exciting. And then you got Bo Nickel, who's like a super over the top accomplished wrestler that they've been trying to build. But in my personal opinion, the main event is the best fight that they could put together right now. And
Okay.
as you said earlier, I'm giving it a blue. What am I doing? Blue special?
Blue,
What is it?
Blue Magic Guarantee.
Blue Magic guarantee that
Blue
if
Magic
you'd
Guarantee.
ever watched UFC before, if this fight doesn't make you a fan, it's just not for you.
Well,
So
I'll be
it'll
tuned.
so it'll be on CBS prime time Sunday at 8 o'clock, June 14th. It's good time for it. It's in the summer. Not a lot going on prime time on Sundays. Hopefully, it brings in new fans for
Yeah.
somebody that's been a fan for so long. I hope it
Nobody,
turns on some new fans. Yeah,
and they ain't got to compete against nothing. So
right.
yeah, it's wide open for them. So no, I'll be tuned in. I definitely want to check it out.
All right. So obviously, free agency just happened. We got so much going on in free agency, and we're gonna cover. We're gonna cover as much as we can. We'll have some flying high as far as free agency and stuff. Brian's gonna do his deep freeze. I just wanted to get a couple of things. So we got news so coming out. So that everybody knows that Daniel Jones was tagged by the Colts. So apparently, it come out that he was made an offer similar to Sam Darnold's deal. So I think like 3 years, maybe 32, 33 million. And apparently they scoffed at that. Jones, I guess him and his team, where Jones is looking at around 50. He wants 50 million.
Whew.
I know that they were on a good run. I don't know how much credit you give that to Jones, but we'll discuss it later on throughout the show what Tua's contract has done to his team. So I think that the Colts were smart not to just do that and tag him and see where that goes. But how do you feel about the news coming out that Daniel Jones wants to be or thinks he is a $50 million quarterback?
I think he crazy. I whatever wherever he get his liquor from, I just point me in that direction. They did good. I mean, they were rolling before he got hurt, but $50 million, that's upper echelon, and that's not Daniel Jones.
So I think Lamar makes what 51, two-time MVP. I think Allen's around 54, and
Yeah.
I think the way it's structured, I don't think Mahomes makes 50 a year. So
No, I don't think so. I think everybody got their contract after Pat. So Josh got his, Lamar got
yeah,
his. But yeah, 50. But the thing is with this, if you're Daniel Jones and you're his agent, his camp, where you gonna get a quarterback from? I kind of got you by the short and curlies. Where you
yeah,
gonna go? You
uh,
can't get you don't pick high enough to replace me.
right.
Really nobody on the market. I mean, it's a couple guys, and we'll talk about that
Yeah,
later.
we'll talk about them. Yeah.
What are you gonna do? Are you gonna tag him?
Also, if you ask for 50 and you feel like they're going to, at worst, they'll tag you, what's the tag? 36, 30. It's more than what the Darnold deal was. So,
Yeah, exactly. So it works out.
yeah. And then if you make the playoffs, somehow get to the championship game, even if you win a wild card game, then you might be able to get the 50.
Yep, exactly.
So, staying on topic with the quarterbacks maybe making money that they shouldn't. So, these are 4 quarterbacks that were released that are all on the market. Some are not on the market anymore. So Tua, Kyler, Geno, and Kirk Cousins, all 4 guaranteed. All 4 will be guaranteed 119 million total that their teams are still have to pay them, even though they've all been released.
Mm.
So if you're watching it on a TV screen, you can kind of see it's underneath. So Tua's getting 54 guaranteed from the Dolphins. Kyler's going to get 36.8 guaranteed from the Dolphins. Geno's getting 18 guaranteed from the Raiders, and Cousin, which sounds okay compared to these, will get 10 million from the Falcons. And then Geno just got traded to the Jets, so we'll talk
He
about
just
that
did.
too.
Yes, he sure
Yeah,
did. Look, Brian Flores told the Dolphins about Tua.
he did.
So he did. He warned them. He told them about Tua. Tua is who he is, and that's on the Dolphins. That's on the Dolphins 100%. we ain't losing no sleep over the Dolphins overpaying nobody. So
So Gino's been traded to the Jets. Somehow I get maybe I made a comment. I get on a Jets fan page. I get like it'll pop up, and I saw a guy like complaining that I can't believe we have Geno Smith. He's trash. Like, you're the Jets. Like what did you like?
New
What
York.
did you think you were gonna get? Yeah, I mean Kyler Murray or Kirk Cousins at best. I mean that's fine, but like I don't beggars can't be choosers if you're a Jets fan. You got a lot of work to do.
Yeah, a lot
Uh,
of.
so I don't think there's any really rumors about Kirk Cousins yet, right? Or
Not that I've heard. I think Kurt is a solid option. Um, you know, if I'm the Jets, I would have got Kirk Cousins, pure quarterback. I know he has his trouble in late in the season in the playoffs, but I mean,
the
he
Jets getting to the playoffs is a victory in itself right now. So that's not
exactly. And
yeah.
you get a pure passer. Um, maybe somebody that can bridge the gap with a younger quarterback and learn. He don't have to teach him per se, but somebody he can learn that can learn from Kurt. Um, and Gino, people talking bad about Gino. Gino was set up with the Seahawks. He did okay.
Yeah, he was fine.
He was fine. He did okay. I think the Raiders just were a bad option, bad offensive line. It just didn't work out. It's just some places that it's a ticking time bomb waiting to happen. You're just waiting for it to go. And then
Yeah,
and the
I
Raiders
don't
were
think the
bad.
Jets are built that way that great for him either, though.
Nah, they're not. I mean, we'll see how free agency shake out. I mean, they got some work to do as far as their offensive line. I mean, he's gonna be in the same situation he was last year with the Raiders.
Yeah, pretty
So
much.
I think this is the last year for the Jets and Aaron Glenn. Anyway, I think they're gonna blow that up after this year. But that's what they do. They the Jets.
Yeah. So I think rumors are I was going to bring it up next, but Mama Sweeney thinks Tua is going to the Falcons. I think that's pretty much it, right? I mean,
Yeah.
it can't be official yet, but he's more than likely he's going to go to the Falcons. And I'm guessing compete, or do you think he's just going to get the job based on they got
Nah.
to pay him something?
Look, I think it's 1 year, 1.3 mil because he's still getting
Oh,
paid
that's
from the
right.
Dolphins.
Right,
So
right,
they only
right.
got to pay him 1.3. Um, I don't know, man. If I Tua, I mean, I just talked about Tua, and then on top of what he lacks on the field, don't forget this man had Tyreek Hill, Jalen Waddle, Devon A. Chain. He had all these pieces, and they just couldn't get going. And I blame a lot of it on Tua, plus the injuries, plus the concussions. I don't like it. I don't like it.
And then, like we talked about, the other guy on this list was Gino. Well, I'm sorry. Let's do Kyler real quick. So Kyler is all but reported to most likely go to the Falcon, or I'm sorry, the Vikings. But I just saw that they can't officially do that either yet. So when he's officially released by the Falcons, it looks like by the Cardinals. How many birds? It looks like he's going to go to the Vikings. Kyler Murray.
Look, that I like that.
You like
With
that? Okay.
Jefferson, can you get him focused? That's been the problem with Kyler Murray. Can you get him focused on football and get off them damn game joysticks? If you can get him off the game, he's a good quarterback. He's a good quarterback. Now I don't know what Ryan Clark was talking about replacing putting Kyler in Baltimore and he could take them further than Lamar. That's nonsense talk. But he's
When
still a
you say the word Ryan Clark, I stopped listening.
yeah, I mean, I heard it and I was just like, maybe this is AI because we got a lot of that going on. Maybe this is AI and
His
I ain't
takes
hearing
are
it.
off the wall.
But not Kyler with Jettas. I like that combination, man. I like that. That's a good move for the Vikings.
Staying on the topic of quarterbacks making money that maybe should or shouldn't, the Dolphins have signed Malik Willis to a 3 year, $67.5 million deal. So let's get this in perspective real quick. So, quick math on that. What is that? 20, 26, 25, 24 million a year?
Yeah,
25 million?
mm-hmm.
23, 20. So they're paying Malik Willis 23, and I just had it up here. They are paying Tua 54. So they are spending $77 million on two quarterbacks that combined have, let's count the playoff wins. One, two, oh, zero. Zero playoff wins. and they are paying $77 million for two quarterbacks. Now, who was it? Was it the Broncos? Or no, was it the Raiders were paying like three coaches at one time,
Yeah,
and maybe they still are. I know the Broncos were still paying. Aren't like three teams still playing Russell? I don't know, but
I think so. I think so. What the Steelers, the Broncos?
maybe the
I
Seahawks still
lost
paying.
track.
I don't know.
Yeah, I lost track of his teams, but yeah,
Yeah,
he's getting paid all over the place.
look, when you hear, and again, is Dak the best quarterback in the league? Of course not. Should he be making 60 million? Whatever. But he's good, and they should make it to the playoffs. Our guy Josh Allen makes what 55 million.
Yep.
Consistently goes to the playoffs every year. The Dolphins are tied up in two quarterbacks right now that are going to cost them 75 million. And I remember you brought up Ryan Clark, so I'll just touch on it real quick. When the GM for the Dolphins was first fired, Ryan Clark and a couple other people tried to make it a race thing of why he was fired and not the coach. I think it's pretty obvious why the head coach or why the GM was fired for the
Yeah,
Dolphins. I mean, look at this contract that they are repped in. Now Malik Willis might work out and they might get lucky with that, but in reality, this Tua contract could set them back for years.
it could. It absolutely could, and that's something that they're going to have to live with, and it's going to handicap them, hinder them a little bit. I don't know if it's always some language in these contracts. Maybe they can buy it out or whatever the case is, but that it's just a lot of money to be and be wrong. And when you were warned about Tua, when you were
Yeah, I'd
warned about
say not only were they wrong. I mean, you I think we talked about it off air, or maybe you said it earlier. Brian Flores warning everyone about Tua,
yes,
but there was without that, there was data of that he's never won a game in 40 degrees or below. His
yes,
record against winning teams is abysmal. Like I know they scored 70 points to get the Broncos. Oh, great. Okay. Broncos went to the championship game last year. How are the uh, I don't
and
know that
and he doesn't the arm isn't there for me for him. Like I said, you had
and the injury thing too.
and the injury thing, and that's a legit concern for me. And I know he loves football and stuff, but the concussions he's had, I think he's one away from ending his career. I thought he had a pretty bad one. I don't know if that was last year, the year before last. He had a pretty bad one. It's just like after a certain like, do you want to get fed through a straw for the rest of your life? Like, you got to hang it up at some point.
All right, so human Google Midnight Rider said the 99 million will be spread over the next two seasons. So yeah, they actually owe to 99 million total. The number that I read was just for this year.
Woo,
So he's guaranteed 99 million from the Dolphins over the next 2 years.
I'm doing the
And
wrong thing. I'm doing the wrong thing.
well, they always say the best job in the world is to have is to be a backup quarterback. You're a
Man,
millionaire. You get to watch games for free, and you still get
yes,
the hottest chicks.
you
So,
do. You do. Hair stays good all game.
yeah.
You gotta. But 99. Oof.
All right. So let's stay in the division since we're talking. The Patriots are getting Romeo Dobbs, pretty decent amount. I think he was in the mid 20s, high 20s, I think, per year. Obviously, people that watch us, they know obviously with me and you were both Buffalo Bills fans, so we don't have a whole lot to talk about with free agency. We actually we kept a few people. Our big thing was DJ Moore. We'll touch on that in a minute. But
Okay.
what do you think about Romeo Dobbs? Was he on your radar before we got DJ Moore, or
Nah, I wasn't. Look, I'm not. I'm one of the Bills fans that I wasn't concerned about receiver. So I'm glad they upgrade, but that wasn't my concern. We'll get to that. But I think that's a good replacement for Stephon Diggs. And I don't. I think if I don't know if you've heard my rants about Stephon Diggs. I don't really care for him, but
yeah,
he was productive for them last year. I think if
yeah,
he didn't have the legal thing hanging over his head, I think the Patriots would have stuck with him.
yeah,
'Cause, he came off an ACL injury in Houston, and he balled out last year. I gotta give him his credit.
yeah, he
He
had a
did,
thousand
he did,
yards.
but like he did in Buffalo,
I know.
non-existent in the playoffs. My goodness, non-existent in the playoffs.
Yeah, when I say that to people and they go, "Really?" I said, "Well, think back. Josh's biggest performance of his career is the 13-second game. He had what 4 touchdowns. Diggs had 2 catches in that game, and one of them
Two
was
catches,
a 2-point conversion.
2 catches, no
Yeah,
touchdowns. Gabe Davis was on fire.
yeah. That game alone got Gabe Davis paid to the Jaguars.
He did.
Looks like we might have. I don't recognize this. At Out of Bounds is watching us on YouTube. Is that somebody that I should know? I don't.
That is the Sideline Junkies shadow account.
Oh,
That
okay.
is the previous name of the Sideline Junkies
Oh,
podcast.
because that's the first time I've seen that on here, so I didn't recognize.
They lurking in the shadows. You gotta pay
so,
attention to that.
but he's right though. Whoever this mystery Dolphins are a dumpster fire. That is true. The Dolphins and the Jets are dumpster fires,
They are.
and I don't think the Patriots are going to be what everybody hopes or thinks they'll be. But we can get that. That's a show topic for another show.
They don't listen to us because we're Bills fans and we're biased. So let them find out.
All right, so I do have one. Right, so yeah, I mentioned Kyler Murray. All the reports are he's going to head to the Vikings. Yeah, so Kenny Pickett just set a record, an NFL record, 5 teams in 5 seasons. No other first-round pick has ever done this. Incredible worth ethic, always ready to compete. So congratulations on Kenny Pickett for setting an NFL record that Josh Allen doesn't have, Patrick Mahomes doesn't have, Dan Marino doesn't have.
Somebody had to set that record.
But he's in the record book. So I guess before we cover like a wide variety of the free agency, let's go ahead and talk about DJ Moore.
DJ Moore. Let me
So
tell you what I was unhappy with DJ Moore. DJ Moore short-armed a route in the playoffs.
you talk about the interception?
Yes, he short-armed a route, short leg, whatever you want to call it. He pulled up on a route. He's an immense talent. Maybe.
I like to focus on the Green Bay catch in overtime.
Okay, we'll focus on the
feel like if that happened in the Broncos game in overtime, then we'd be sitting here in a different situation. But
we're not going to turn this into a coulda, shoulda, woulda Bills
right.
show. We can't.
I mean, Buffalo hasn't had a home run potential guy. I mean, even with Diggs, who I guess had that potential, never had it in the playoffs, like you said. So when's the last? So
Diggs was never a home run guy. Diggs was like a route runner specialist type guy. He wasn't like he was going to get deep because he made a double move, not because he had pure athleticism. You know what I'm saying? So you get DJ Moore in here now, and you stretch the offense. But like I said, that wasn't our problem. That's
not necessarily. I know, and the defense needs work, and they haven't addressed that a whole lot yet. I know they just brought in a corner after they let Taryn go.
Yeah,
they re-signed one of the offensive linemen. Oh, they signed 2 offensive linemen. One of our offensive linemen apparently took a pay cut, and then we re-signed the center. Or is that the same guy? Maybe I'm combining that together.
That's Connor McGovern.
Yeah, this is the center. Okay.
Yeah. And they redid Dawson Knox's deal,
right? Which I saw that. And there's rumors that they're gonna redo Allen's too. I mean, that's been rumored.
They're going to have to do a couple contracts because I still think they're in the bottom of the pits when it comes to free agency money. So they got some work to do on restructuring some contracts.
Speaking of that, trying to see if I had that picture.
When you allow 32 points a game in the playoffs the last 6 years, wide receivers the least of your problems.
Yeah, I know that's what people. There's a narrative, obviously, with fans. Josh Allen, can't win a big game, chokes in playoffs, whatever. But there's a stat that the last 6 playoff games the Bills have lost, I think the offensive average is between 28 and 29 points a game, and the defense has averaged 32.8 points a game in their losses. So
the only choke job I'll give Josh was the Broncos game because he had he had
4 turnovers, but even on that. He took the lead with about 3-4 minutes to go, got him to overtime with a minute to go, and we don't have to get into the catch, but an interception that was very controversial on both ends. So
that fumble,
the fumble with the field goal was a disaster.
That fumble reminded me of year 2 Josh Allen.
I guess the Texans.
He hasn't been that careless with the ball in a long time, but that's what that reminded. Trying to play hero, trying to be the cowboy. And he cost them, what was that, 3 points? Was that 3 points?
Yeah.
But here's the thing. We talked about this a little bit on Sunday's game. I'm so glad they got rid of Dane Jackson. Okay?
Yeah,
Dane Jackson, I can't remember the other boy's name because both of them came in, both of them immediately let touchdowns in. And they have been bad for a couple of years. I can't remember. Is it Cam Lewis? Who's the
yeah,
other? Yeah. Oh
Cam
my.
Lewis, yeah.
Oh, you
And
talking
then we
about?
had, and then in Elam when we drafted him,
Oh,
I think it was a playoff game before that he came in, and
oh.
they immediately went to him and they tore him up as
But the thing is, and we're not gonna turn this into a Bill show. And I
yeah,
said this on Sunday. You can't ask a cornerback to come in the game when the game's flowing, third quarter, and be like play bump and run, press man coverage. Just Cole off the bench. Like
yep.
you can't do that. Dane Jackson got smoked. Cam Lewis got smoked, and that's not Josh Allen. He can't do anything about that. So,
All right, so Anthony said, "What's up? What's up, Anthony? Glad you joined us."
Anthony, what's
Uh,
going on?
Covering free agency. So we're gonna take a break in a few minutes. We're gonna get the boss is flying high and deep freezer, and then we'll cover more free agency. There's plenty more to guys to talk about. Real quick before we do that, we gotta it's about a month away. I just pulled this because this is all tied together with free agency. So this is the draft order for the upcoming draft, and this will probably change with more trades coming. But
Yes.
I just a reason I pulled this is because the Raiders have been very active in free agency, surprisingly to me. But I feel the Raiders are in a good position to build for the future if Mendoza is, even just pretty good.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, the Jets have been very busy. Why I don't know. I mean, I don't whatever. The Cardinals have been fairly quiet, and then the Titans have been very active too.
The Titans are you ordering food in a restaurant and they moving fast, but the food ain't getting cooked any faster. They just making a lot of moves, and it's just like okay, we'll see if it pan out. I'm not impressed.
No, I mean, I feel like if you're a Titan fan, you're just glad they're doing something. I mean, Bengals fans. I just saw just they weren't doing much of anything, and then with whatever's going on with Trey, is it Hendrickson? Trey Hendrickson?
Hendrickson.
Yeah, whatever's going on there. Apparently, I didn't pull the picture for that, but he's asking for 30 or 40, between 30 and 40, and apparently nobody wants anywhere near that. So,
But see, here's the thing with the Titans. Also, you're spending this money. Are you making yourself good enough? Because you that means you're going to go all in on Cam Ward, right? You're going to go all in on Cam Ward. If he doesn't pan out, and you win six or seven games, maybe eight. Let's say they win 7 games. You're not in the top 3, 4 to get a quarterback. You're going to be and Flyin Brian. You remember this. You're going to be in Buffalo Bill purgatory where you're picking 8th, 9th, 10th, 11th. You can't. They got lucky with Josh, but you
yeah.
can't get high enough to get that franchise quarterback. So
Yeah, they were like that forever. They drafted what? JP Losman mid, EJ Manuel mid, and
Aaron maybe.
Aaron May.
Aaron
Aaron Maven.
maybe.
I used to work with a girl that went to high school with him. I remember we used
Yeah,
to talk
okay.
about him when he
Yeah.
busted. He was a huge bust.
And
Uh,
it just kept drafting, and they just couldn't get in that top 5, top 6 because they were winning games. They always had a good stout defense, but the team was good enough just to win enough games to keep them out of that top 4, 3 or 4.
so Anthony said he's seen on Twitter that a lot of Raiders fans are nervous they're going to screw it up. Well, I mean, the Raiders have a history of that, but I've talked about the Raiders positively the last few shows. I've had them on flying high multiple times just because it looks like they're making all the right moves. And I know a
Yes,
lot of it depends on Mendoza, but again, he's the only option this draft, and he seems to be the best option. So if it doesn't work, I don't necessarily, I don't look at it as where the Browns keep screwing up all the time, and you're talking about the Titans keep. I feel like the Raiders are putting all the right pieces together. Whether they fit or not is a different story. It doesn't always work that way.
exactly.
Let's see what he feels about so Malik Willis signing for the Dolphins. Oh, for his Dolphins. Okay, so you're a Dolphins fan. All right.
Yeah,
Uh,
he is. He is.
okay, it's a purgatory move. We're going to be stuck in that. Yeah, so if you joined the show a little bit late, I'd said unfortunately, the contract that they have given to Tua has screwed and this is coming from a Dolphins fan, that the Dolphins are in purgatory for a little while. So, and it's going to be a two-man race in the division between the Bills and the Patriots. We're going to be bad enough for the top 10, but we're not good at, and we just touched on that with you talking about where teams are just can't get over the hump to get that quarterback. But apparently there's next draft, 2027 is supposed to be pretty quarterback heavy. So
That's what I keep hearing. We'll
yeah.
we'll see how that is. Yeah, we'll see. Let's see.
All right, so we're gonna take a quick break. Come back with flying high and deep freeze, and then there's plenty more free agents to talk about. We'll talk about the obviously again you watch the show. I wanted the receiver for the Colts, but I don't necessarily want to pay him 30 million, so that all works out. And
Yes.
then yeah, and then we got I guess then we'll have to talk about Max Crosby. So being that a lot of our fans are local fans as far as Maryland area. I'm sure they definitely want us to make sure we mention Max Crosby, so we would do that. And we will be back soon. You still gotta think about me. Want someone to hold. You can put me on airplane mode. You can put me on. You still gotta think about me. Want someone to hold. You can put me on airplane mode. You can put me on. All right, guys, welcome back to the show. As you can see, with my fancy video game s graphics, it is time for Flyin' Brian's Flying High. So I'm actually just gonna do a quick one because we got a special guest today, and he's got his own Flying High and his own deep freeze. So I'm curious to see what that is. So I'm gonna talk about Malik Willis real quick.
Okay.
He's flying high. He's got a big bag for how many games did he play last year? 3?
3, I think. Yeah, 2 or 3.
So he got 32, 33 million. So he's getting his performance was so good in those 3 games, he's getting 10 million a game based on that performance. So nobody can be flying more high than he is. I feel like a lot of people feel like a lot of people were overpaid during this free agency. I brought him up before we went to break. Colts. I'm sorry, his name is just we didn't sign him, so his name has escaped my head. The receiver for the Colts. Help me
Pierce.
with it. Yes, thank you. Yeah, so he got close to 30. So clearly he's flying high, but the receiver that's flying high the most will be Puka Nakua because next season he will be resetting the market
Yes, he will.
and he's going to get 40.
Probably. If Pierce got 30 on just a deep threat,
And
Pierce
Jefferson's
numbers,
what? 36? He's at 36, 37, Jefferson,
yeah,
I
we
think.
might be talking about north of 40.
Yeah,
And
so I'm sure a guy like Puka, when he saw that deal, he got excited because he knows that he's gonna break the bank. And then for my last flying high, uh, I'm gonna actually go with Max Crosby. Maybe not the Ravens, but again, a lot of people feel like maybe he was a little overpaid. But hey, free agency is all about getting that bank, and he got it. Obviously, he's a great player, but was that the position that the Ravens needed to put them over the top?
we just talked about that with the Bills, right?
Yeah,
Was that
right.
their problem?
Yeah, I don't remember a lot of talk about pass rush. I know their defense was weak last year compared to most seasons, but you're dumping a lot of money. You're putting all your eggs in one basket. It feels like there, but he got paid, so he himself is flying real high.
Flying high. My flying high, I only got one flying high, and it's a team award. I'm gonna give it to the Raiders. They got
Okay.
the best offensive lineman in Tyler Lindenbaum. You just made a mention about overpaying. No center has made over $18 million. The Raiders come in. Lindenbaum is making $27 million a year. Okay. And if you're serious about protecting Mendoza, getting Genty going in the backfield, that's a key piece. You get one of the best centers in the league, and they address some defense. They got N'Kobe Dean, Quay Walker, and then they got our boy. I'm gonna miss him, Taron Johnson. He made some big plays for us. Had a couple injuries, but I think if they get him back at full strength, you got a solid slot corner because when he was at his best, you're talking about top 3 slot corner in the league. He's
Yeah.
very, very solid. So that's a really good pickup. I like what they did. They re-signed their guy Eric Stokes. So they made some moves. They made heavy defensive moves. Of course, Mendoza's the lock, and we'll see what else they do. I don't know how much they got left, but the crazy thing is the Titans outspent everybody. So.
All right, so Anthony liked my new backgrounds I did for my Flying High. So it reminds him of Cruising USA. So if we got anybody who's mid
Oh,
30s, early 40s,
oh, cruising.
the old N64 days with Cruising USA, I will take that as a very big compliment, Anthony. Thank you very much. Um,
Indeed.
so last week, if you guys tuned in, I was in a very weird mood when I was working on these graphics. I was in a very colorful mood. So I actually had this ready, but I didn't debut it because Lee Ice loves his freezer so much. I didn't want to quite change it, but this is perfect because I had it ready to do, and you're here. So we are going to do Lee Ice's deep freeze with a very colorful, because this is going to be a happy version of the. Actually, I have no idea how this deep freeze is going to go, but
Oh man.
of the deep freeze. So we are going to do that. So I think it looks cool. I don't know if it really fits in the segment
Hey,
since
look,
it's kind of a dark segment, but I thought it was cool.
Flying Brian, you are the king of background graphics. I will give you that.
All right, so I don't normally do a deep freeze, but I touched on it earlier, and I was going to get more into it, but just with Lee not coming on, I just didn't plan on doing it. But just we talked about the narrative, and this country's in a mess right now, and this is a sports podcast, so we're not going to get political or anything, but just when certain broadcasters that are at the top of their you know league, and you brought up Ryan Clark, and there's other ones out there too. Anytime something happens and they have to throw in the racial thing, I wanted to put just that whole narrative in the freezer when it comes to certain things. And when the narrative came out when the GM for the Dolphins was fired and McDaniel wasn't fired immediately after, and
Mm-hmm.
it was to do anything else to do with to his contract, which, and
Exactly.
now that we have seen, now that the free agency has started and we've seen what this contract has done, there he was fired for that, clearly for that. And McDaniel was fired later on, and McDaniels did not get a head coaching job.
No, he
So
didn't.
yeah, so I just wanted to put all that to freezer. Let's watch sports, let's enjoy sports, let's talk about sports, and let's make it about sports. And sometimes some people get fired because they suck at their
They
job.
are horrible at their
and
jobs.
and clearly that contract signing is going to go down. And I'm not talking about, I know Deshaun Watson is clearly the worst free agent signing of all time and might never be top. But as far as contract extensions, that has to be, as of right now, the worst contract extension ever. And Anthony, who's a big fan of the network and watches all the time as a Dolphins fan, I'm pretty sure he can tell you that that contract has put their Dolphins in such a position that they don't even know what to do. They just paid Malik Willis $32 million. So yes, that's why he was fired. So I'm putting those people and that narrative in the freezer. But
Cool,
anyway,
cool. All right, am I up?
yes, sir. Get that
Okay.
on.
Hold on, I gotta do this right. If I'm doing in freezer now, hold on now.
I don't want to do the illusion. We never see Leroy put it on, so we're gonna. Oh, there we go. See.
There we go. I got two for the deep freezer.
Okay.
The Atlanta Falcons and their signing Tua Tungo Vailoa. Look, make up your damn mind. Either Penix is going to start and you're going to commit to Penix and you're going to put your marbles in there, set up an offense for him so he can succeed, right? But now you're going to bring Tua in there and you're going
For
to have
competition.
for competition, you're going to have this quarterback controversy, which isn't good for a young QB. All right, if you're going to put it on Penix, you could have went and got any other quarterback here that could have backed up Penix. You give the boy confidence starting out. Hey, we're going. Mike Penix is our Mike Penix Jr. is our starter going into the 2026 season. You already give him a boost of confidence. He doesn't have to look over his shoulder. Now, any mistake he makes, he's going to be worried about getting yanked.
Hasn't he technically had that his whole season career though with his
Yes.
Cousins? Yeah.
And that's the other thing. Why did the Kirk Cousins sign it? That could have been put in a deep freezer. You're looking over your shoulder. As soon as you make a mistake, you got to worry about them pulling the Kirk Cousins. You got to worry about Atlanta Sports Talk Radio. Be like, oh, this guy sucks. Put in Kirk. Now you got to worry about let's see what Tua can do. Blah blah blah. It's horrible. You could have got it's so many other quarterbacks out there that could have held the clipboard, put in your faith in Michael Penix Jr. if that's what you're gonna roll with.
So we can actually cover that on a show. That's actually a good topic to talk about. It. Maybe we'll do that next week. Because there's a narrative that teams, or I don't know if it's a developmental issue with the coaches or just teams don't have patience to develop. Because obviously Sam Darnold winning the Super Bowl, Baker Mayfield doing what he's done with Tampa Bay,
It's
and
both.
maybe we'll get that with Tua or other players. What is with the development of the quarterbacks right now? And
It's
like you
both.
said,
It's
yeah,
both. I
and
harp
what
on
they're
it all
doing to
the time.
Penix, they're not giving him a chance.
I harp
Thank
on it
God
all the
Buffalo
time.
gave Allen because Allen's rookie year was atrocious.
Horrible.
But they had
Horrible.
some flashes on the field if you watched each game. But if you just
Exactly.
look at his numbers, they were awful. And
But the thing
luckily
is,
they gave him a chance.
you saw those flashes with Baker. You saw those flashes
Yeah.
with Sam. You saw these flashes, but like I always say, when you draft a player, are you drafting a player? Physical talent's cool, but what are you going to put in place for that player to succeed? If this player if you got a quarterback that is a West Coast quarterback, then you have to put him in that system. If you're not putting a system around, this like Malik Willis going now to the Dolphins. He's going out with his former offensive coordinator. So that makes sense.
Yeah.
So I say it all the time, defensive players. We talked about the corner that the Ravens drafted. I forgot his name again, but he's a man-to-man corner, and they got him playing 10 to 15 yards off the ball, and he let the most catches in the NFL. The playing style's not matching. So,
So
wow.
real quick, before you go to the next freeze, Midnight Rider said we're beating do it. We're beating to it down a little too.
I
To
mean,
is getting on.
he used to it. He used to it.
Hey, the joke's on us. He's $150 million in the bank. The joke's on us. He's fine. And then Leroy's checking in. So hopefully everything's good on his end. But
Yes, sir.
yeah, buddy.
Buddy.
Um, well, real quick, yeah, Anthony might have a good point here. It's the fans that have patience, and I agree with that. The franchise and the coaches have enormous amount of patience. They get forced into a position where they have no patience. So, how do you feel about that? Do you feel like all the pressure from not only the fans, media too, they fuel that? Do you think they put pressure on the owners?
They
On
do,
Yeah,
they do. But if you feed that fuel, you should be fired
do you
because
think that Terry fueled that with the firing of McDermott? Do you think that was a
McDermott
part
should
of
have
it?
been fired. McDermott should have been fired
Okay,
after the 13-second game.
okay.
He's 2 years too late. McDermott should have been fired just because of how bad the defense has been. But if you are a professional franchise, an owner, and a GM, and you're listening to the fans, you should be fired. Okay, because just like we said, sometimes you're not going to turn it around in 1 year. The Raiders are not going to turn it around in 1 year. The Jets are not going to turn it around in 1 year. Buffalo, we were bad for 20 years. We were in purgatory for 20 years. It's a mindset. You have to change the culture. You have to change the locks on the doors. You have to change the cleaning people. You have to get the loser mentality out the building. That doesn't take 1 year. This isn't college. We're not dealing with NIL and college students. So
So Midnight Rider liked Anthony's point, said great point, Anthony. Coaches get 3 to 4 seasons at best. Yeah, I
yes.
mean, yeah, that's a good point. And then Anthony, just real quick before we move, we're gonna move on after this. Anthony, we're gonna go to the next deep freeze. McDaniel and Greg got fired. They fueled the we keep this a family friendly show. So they fueled the fans down here in Miami who were focused on it. And I like his point here. Focused on the quarterback instead of the logo. That's
Yes,
something
sir.
that's lost, and that's a huge social media thing too. That's a good point, and we're all guilty of it. Don't believe me, but yeah, focused on the quarterback or the star, and in football, you got to focus on the logo, and he's 100% right on that. And when Buffalo was up for sale, and there was rumors that like Trump was going to buy it and take him to Atlantic City or Bon Jovi was going to buy him and put him in Toronto. If they weren't the Bills with that logo, that's what I'm a fan of. And my dad talks about that all the time. I'm a fan of the franchise. I'm a fan of the team. I love
Absolutely.
Josh Allen and he's our guy, but if he goes to another team, it is what it is. I'm a
It is what
Bills
it
fan.
is.
Yeah.
Exactly. Look,
Basketball is more of that centric than it is football, but
my next deep freeze, the Cleveland Browns and their signing of guard Zion Johnson.
I
3
think the
years,
Cleveland Browns live in the freezer, don't they? They've been in the freezer for.
$49 million. Okay. We have been a fan of the Cleveland Browns trying to turn their franchise around since we started this podcast in 2017. Every year, we're hyped. We're like, all right, this is their year. They're going to win the division. And every year, they just fall apart by the seams. This guy, let me make sure I get this right. He was beaten 22 times last year. He was 54 out of 79 ranked Pro Football Focus guards. And you just shelled out 3 years, $49.5 million for this dude? Are you serious? This is your idea of protection? I don't know if y'all remember that famous clip. It's a security guard and he's barely patting people down going into the stadium, barely touching them. That's what this guard is going to do for Cleveland. He's going to barely touch you. He's going to let you right in. And he going, whoever's playing quarterback, whether it's Shadura, Deshaun Watson, me, you, get your tape ready, get your icy hot ready. You're going to get hit. And you're going to get hard. All right. I got one more, Brian, but it's not deep freezer, but it's not or fly high. I'm gonna call it in between the wash and dry because I don't know where it is. And I'm gonna go Malik Willis. I'm not gonna put him in the deep freezer. I'm not gonna put him in flying high. I like it, but it is risky. It can pay off because he's with his former offensive coordinator. He looked really good those 2 to 3 games in that offense with those weapons. So now you bring him down to Miami. You got the familiarity. Goodness gracious.
I got you.
And I think that's gonna be on the upside. I hate to say this because they're in the division, but I think that's gonna work out for the Dolphins. I really do. I think that's gonna wipe out that $99 million over the next 2 years. I think Malik. We talked about it, son. I think Malik Willis. I think this works if you put the system in for him and God lead the way, hold his hand a little bit. I think this could be a good signing for the Dolphins. But I'm not gonna put him in the deep freezer. He's flying high on your board because he made his money.
Yeah, he's flying high on his paycheck. Whether he flies high on the field, that's a different story.
Yeah, so I'm gonna put him in between the wash and the dryer. That's what I'm gonna put him
in. All right, so that was Flying Brian's Flying High and Flying Brian's Deep Freeze. Since we got both Brian, so I should have made a Brian Lee Ice logo. All right, so coming up, we got about another 10-15 minutes. Plenty more free agents to talk about. We'll talk about the big signings, and we'll touch on Max Crosby and anybody watching. Everybody in the comments. I'm just gonna be Raven fan somewhere. So give us your thoughts on old Max Crosby. We'll be right back. That one's quick when we don't get as much time to come back on that one. Welcome back to the show, everybody. So while we were on our really long break, you didn't say his name right. So it's Malik. What you talking about, Willis? You forgot.
I'm sorry. My apologies. My apologies.
So Anthony, if you didn't tune in last week, since you're the Dolphins guy, Leroy had christened him with Malik. What you talking about, Willis? So you're gonna be hearing about a lot of that next season. So hopefully that grows on you. And you keep tuning in and watching to hear that every week. But it could turn out to be a good thing. So it doesn't have to be a negative thing. It's just a funny thing.
Yep, exactly.
All right, so we got again, we got a lot more free agents to talk about. So this is just a couple of the guys, some of the notable moves. So we got real quick, we could talk on the trade. The Rams trading for the that's the Rams just spent all their money on corners and secondary. So my son's a Rams fan. People that watch would know that. So just your quick thoughts on that.
I think it's a great upgrade, man, because they got the pass rush. I think it just takes their defense to another level. I love it. I love it. Anytime you can upgrade a position, I think what's the boy name? Cam Curl? Was it Cam Curl? They
Yeah.
re-signed Cam Curl, so defense gets better. So now you got to worry about pass rush and good coverage. So they already got the pass rush. That was making what was the boy here in Washington that was getting cooked? I forgot his name, but he plays for the Rams now. He looked better out there because of their pass rush. So I like the sign. Love it. A nice upgrade.
All right. So Anthony talked about he likes to deal with Willis. Backloaded most of the contract. He was paying him the veteran minimum this year. Okay, so if that's how they're doing it, so that's smart to do that.
Mm-hmm.
A big one we haven't mentioned yet. Mike Evans. Apparently, the report was that the Bucks. It wasn't a money thing with the Bucks. They offered him pretty much what he ended up getting. I don't know if it was a Baker thing or he just thinks he got a better shot with the not. You think it was a Baker thing?
I think it was a Baker thing. I think
Okay.
I think it's both. I think it's a Baker thing, and I think he has a better shot with the Niners because you figure they were fighting with Carolina in a dogfight with Carolina, and everybody knew neither one of those teams were competing for a Super Bowl.
Yeah, clearly.
So, and Carolina's was just going to get better. So you bolt and the 49ers give you the better option, but can he stay healthy? Emmanuel Forbes, there you go.
Yeah, so Cam Curl is on the Rams. It just wasn't the right when I heard the name it registered, but
but Emmanuel Forbes was the corner I was talking about that was here was getting smoked, but he looks better in the Rams because they got a pass rush. So
all right, so we got so let's see what else we got. Yeah, the Giants have made a lot of moves too. Anything stick out for you? I mean, I know the Cowboys haven't really done much. They're hit and miss. The Eagles have let a lot of players go.
they have.
The Commanders haven't done a whole lot, and we'll see how they stand when Jaden is healthy. But do you think the Giants could be in position to maybe steal the division somehow?
No.
I
think this is.
It seems like they feel that way because the moves that they're making, with the coach, and they already have they believe they have the quarterback, they believe they have the running back, and they've been making a lot of moves in the division that could be up for grabs, but I don't necessarily think it is either. But
not for me, and not for me.
All right, see Anthony. We got let's see. Like the hiring of Jeff Halfley and John Eric Sullivan. They're going to tear everything down to the studs, clean out the termite, rock clean, and out the flood damage. Well, yeah, I mean, it's good to be positive. Yeah, I mean, again, as Bills fans, it's fun to poke at the Dolphins and all that, But I
love it.
Yeah, of course. But if my team, that's the one thing. At least Buffalo, with all the turmoil, with all the quarterbacks, at least they never just tied a quarterback up. They didn't pay EJ Manuel. It's Giants and a healthy QB and running back. Yes, they should be, and Dallas. So we got
JoJo.
Yeah, we got JoJo. So he thinks, they have a shot to make a run. So I mean, we'll see.
Look, Harbaugh's a really good coach. He didn't get fired because coach after a while.
It was just time.
It was just time. Voice gets old. But I don't think the Giants are ready to compete with the Eagles and the Cowboys just yet.
All right, see if we missed anything.
Max Crosby.
Right, Max Crosby's obviously the big one. I guess maybe we need a pass rush, but we were never going to have the money to get that. So, what did you think about him going to Baltimore?
I like the move for Baltimore. I mean, you have to have. We talk about it all the time. We've seen it the last 6 years. You have to have some type of pass rush to advance in the playoffs. If you don't, you're going to be sitting there looking stupid, letting 32 points a game in. So, but that isn't the Ravens' problem. The Ravens' problem has been the offense choking. They did it in Buffalo with the tight end dropping a 2-point conversion. They've choked down the stretch. They've choked. They did it a couple years back when in the COVID year when Lamar threw that interception to Ron Johnson. He took it to the house. The pass rush and their defense hasn't been the problem. They get tied up on offense and they just can't do anything. and you see that Lamar Jackson had this MVP season, and it doesn't translate into the playoffs. That's been their problem. When Max Crosby helped, yeah, he might get the ball back for him, but you still got to score.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I was a little surprised. I don't remember hearing a lot of the Ravens being on the radar until like the day before. But yeah, I mean, again, he's a great player, so it can't be necessarily a bad thing. But like you said, was it the biggest? You talked about us, DJ Moore, to the fan base and the narrative around the league for us. A wide receiver was our biggest problem, but it's not.
It's not.
It's not. It's the most flashiest hole, I guess. But uh, yeah, but I think it's a good move for the Cowboys for the Ravens. But I don't. That's like you said. It's not going to change Lamar's playoff performances. So
It's not. It's not.
um
Pull up,
so we
pull up that comment. Pull up Anthony's comment.
I'm getting to it. So he I have a response to this that I always have to use online because I'm on a lot of fan pages, do a lot of trash talking with Dolphin fans and stuff. So he no, not that one. Um so this is always the insult when you're a Bills fan, and it's fine. We've been living through. I remember the first time I heard it, I was in elementary school. That Bills stands for "Boy, I love losing Super Bowl." So if you come up with that too, that's not new. I heard that 30 years ago. But he says, at least we have a Super Bowl. You guys went to four in a row and haven't. So that is true. Now, Anthony, I don't know you personally, and your profile picture I think is a dog, so it's not you. But I'm gonna assume you're in our age range, so that means you personally in your fandom hadn't seen the Dolphins win anything. Your fandom as a Dolphins fan is 26 years of no playoff wins. At least me and Brian have seen our team get to the championship game and have seen our team win a championship game. And if you're my age, you got to see Jim Kelly be 3-0 against Dan Marino in the playoffs. So
Yeah.
that's your fandom as a Dolphins fan. But that's true. You do have one in the trophy case, and you can watch grainy black and white clips of it on YouTube. But in person, in your fandoms that you've been alive, you ain't seen as much as I have.
Hey, Anthony, do me a favor.
Just having fun, buddy.
Break out the VHS tapes of Thurman Thomas and them screen passes killing y'all in the playoffs, okay? And then do me another favor because you're gonna have to dig deeper in your closet. You're gonna have to go all the way back to the closet. You're gonna have to kill some spiders. You pull out that Betamax and you watch your Super Bowl, okay? You tell me how it looks. Tell me if you can hear it. Tell me if the tape is still good, okay? Enjoy it.
We're just having fun with you, buddy. All right. So JoJo says, yeah, he's with you. They need a wide receiver, but the window flew back open with that move. They ain't have much pass rush. You could throw all over the defense. Yeah, I mean the defense was weak last year. The Bills own the Baltimore Bama's and good until the broken bird Lamar can win the AFC divisional championship. Always bet against them. And
Yeah,
now I will say Lamar has turned in some of the worst playoff performances at that
yeah,
level, but
yeah.
he was top this year with Drake May's amazing playoff run. Now he got to the Super Bowl. He got to the Super Bowl. He sure did. But that has to go down as one of the worst
Trash.
playoff performances. I talk
Trash.
about again, and this is just because again I'm online a lot and I do a lot of nonsense arguing, but uh, the Bills had two playoff games, and their defense gave up, I think it was 52 points in those two games. The three games to get to the Super Bowl, the Patriots gave up 26 points.
Yep.
So,
Yep. Makes a difference.
again, Drake May had a good season, a great season. He was in the MVP conversation, but I think the playoff run and the regular season, he's going to be somewhere in the middle.
Yeah.
I don't think he's going to be as bad as he was in playoff run, but I don't think we're going to see him in the MVP conversation too many more times going forward.
They
I think
won
he's
the
going to be
division.
a good quarterback. To me, he's closer to Bo Nix than he is the top 6, 7 guys.
Well, they won the division, so hit the who they play next year is gonna go
It
up.
changed, yeah, and it's fun to say it online, and it's fun to make fun of it. Drake the schedule in May, but I think the playoffs kind of proved that the schedule was a very big part of it.
Yeah, absolutely. And Anthony, we messing with you, man.
Yeah,
We
we know.
love
We're just having fun, buddy. We know. It's just fun though because I get into real arguments with Dolphins fans that are like in their 30s and they're bringing up Super Bowl wins. Just like you haven't won a playoff game in 26 years. It's like the record in all of sports, not just football.
yeah,
The Browns have won a playoff game more recently and the Jets have.
yeah. They just have. They have.
Yeah,
That's
they
it.
went to two championship games with Mark Sanchez. That was only 10, 12, 13 years ago. I mean, that wasn't that long ago.
They're horrible to watch. Don't make those are bad movies for me. Don't.
There you go.
They fit.
Jay.
Yeah, I ain't heard that name in a long time. Wow. I think I was watching clips of somebody posted on the other day their last playoff victory. I was watching it and it was real grainy, but you know.
Yeah, and we were in a similar position. Our last playoff appearance until they got there in 2017 was with, technically, it was with Rob Johnson. He's the
Yes.
one that started the game, not Doug
Yep.
Flutie. So
Exactly.
we get it. I mean, we're a poverty franchise, but it's been fun. It's been fun watching. It's been fun to be relevant. I can tell you that.
It has. It has. It's painful, but it's fun.
Yeah, it's funny because I talk about it. I have family who come over every year, and my mom, she watches football, but she's not like like a football fan. My dad's a Commanders fan, my son's a Rams fan, but she's been so beat down by the Commanders getting to the championship game 2 years ago, Buffalo being so close for so many years, and then this year looked like the Rams were going to make the Super Bowl too, and she's like, I don't know how you guys deal with it. I don't want to watch football anymore. I can't take it. I'm so heartbroken over it. It's like we get guys get upset for like a couple, like 10 minutes. Like I had to go in the other room after the Broncos game for like 10, 15 minutes, and then I was fine. But I mean, I'm not gonna lie, it does hurt. Yeah.
Oh no, my cool down period, Brian, is like 6 months. I'd be pissed off, man.
So I'm a burn. I mean, it bothers me. I mean, but like I'm a burn hot guy, and I look back on looking for. I rather lose in the playoffs in a heartbreaking way than have to look forward to the draft every year.
That's a good point.
I
I ain't gonna argue with you.
mean, right now the Raider we've had the Raiders on flying high. I think 3 or 4 straight weeks because you had them on yours this week because they're making the right moves and they might not be the worst team in the league,
Yeah,
but they're not flying. But they're not in a position of a Ravens or a Bills or a Rams or even a Chiefs. But Raiders fans couldn't be more happier right now until the
exactly.
season starts.
Yeah, yeah, because they still got to beat Kansas City, and they still got to get through Denver, and they still got to get through the Chargers. So they got to prove themselves. They got to climb out.
All right, so he's going back to my Drake May comment. Maybe that'll piss some people off. We'll get some Patriots fans commenting, but he didn't know if the Bo Nix was a good comparison. He sees a more athletic version of Jake Plummer. I don't know. I don't know if that's even is that better than Bo Nix.
I think so. Jake had an arm. Jake had an arm. Jake could play. Yeah. I mean, look, we're gonna see because, like I said, two Bills fans talking about Drake May, the Patriots.
Yeah, I know, and then we'll do predictions in the coming months. The whole podcast network, we'll all do our predictions, all that, and some will be a little bit influenced, but I don't know. I wasn't impressed with the playoff performance.
Nah, the playoff performance tell you everything you need to know.
And
Everything you need to know.
living in the Baltimore area, and when I worked my job was working at a grocery store. Who in the Baltimore Ravens were very involved in our grocery store, so the Ravens are just always in my face, and having the Lamar Allen argument all the time. There's no comparison in the playoffs. If you only remember the Broncos game with the 4 turnovers and you haven't looked at his numbers, Allen has some of the best playoff numbers in the history of the NFL. I know it
Nah,
hasn't translated to wins necessarily, but that's not the argument. So a lot of the games that the Ravens have lost have been because of crucial mistakes by Lamar Jackson. And you brought up the Taron Johnson pick six
yep.
was one of the biggest ones.
The only one that wasn't on him was Andrew dropping that ball. But that would put them in the lead in Buffalo. He dropped that ball right on the pylon.
Right. Well, actually, that would have tied the game. That was a 2-point conversion.
Was it a
tied the
4
game.
tie? Okay, it was 4
Yeah,
tie.
through the tie. But again, Lamar had 2 turnovers in that game that got him in a hole that he dug him out of technically, but it was a thing where they shouldn't have been in that position anyway.
You know what
Same
kills
thing
me
with the
about
Buffalo game. Buffalo took the lead against the Broncos, but they had 5 turnovers in that game.
You can't overcome that.
No.
And what kills me with Lamar is he gets to the playoffs and he stops doing what got him the MVP, which is using his legs. He wants to turn into Dan Marino in the playoff. He wants to turn into this gold pocket passer, Joe Montana. Run
Now,
the ball.
is that a play calling thing, or is that
I think it's a little bit of both. I think
because Drake May had a similar thing. I was watching the Super Bowl with my uncle, just not a fan of anybody, and he kept saying he's not running. Drake May's not running, and he didn't. Drake May didn't run much in the playoffs either.
I don't get it, man. You do what got you there. If you got there, I didn't think Buffalo ran the ball enough with the Bronco game. I know they trying to get back and forth, but you had one of the best running backs in the league, Lamar. You broke records running the ball, touchdowns. Why aren't you running the ball? Run.
So Midnight Rider wants to know if we're going to dive through some tables at the end of the show because we.
Tell them to hush up. Tell them to hush up.
All right, so we got to get out of here. We got Tuesday night flights coming up, but let's see. We got a real quick question from Anthony. Since both are guys are Bills fans, are you willing to re-engage with Sullivan and Jalen? Yeah, he brought up Jalen Waddle earlier. I with the DJ Moore trade, I don't think they're going to do. Not to be. I don't know if Waddle's worth a one. I don't know what he's worth. That was a desperation thing that Buffalo was doing in the middle of the season. They were going to give him a one for Waddle, but it was going to be the 2027 draft. They got DJ Moore for it too. I think they're happy with that. I think Waddle's a good player. I don't know if he's a one. We don't know for sure. He's technically never been a one with the Dolphins until Tyreek got hurt.
Exactly.
But yeah, I don't see Buffalo. I know the Chargers might be interested in him. The Bucks need a receiver maybe now after Mike Evans. So I think there'll still be interest in Waddle if they're still willing to trade him. But I think Buffalo's out on that.
I know we got to get out of here. Tuesday night flight coming up very shortly, 7:45, and tomorrow night, 7:30. C. Perry the second, Midnight Rider, nothing but net around the association in 30 minutes.
Plug Jack Carr. What time does Jack Carr come on?
Jack won't be coming on tomorrow.
Oh, he's not on this. Oh, he's not on this week. Okay, my bad. I'm sorry. I was trying to give you some love, Jack.
I know.
All right, guys. Tune in next week. Lee should be back. If he's not, who knows? We'll be here. Hopefully, the boss approved of the show today, and I will also be back next week. Back with Lee Ice. But yeah, we'll see you next week on Unapologetic Sports.